y'all, welcome back to my channel. So sometimes people think they know, but they really don't know. So today we're going to talk about some myths about mental health and mental wellness. I think it's important to talk about myths because people have a wrong idea about mental health and mental wellness, and that leads to stigma. That's one of the things that causes people to not want to get help, or to think that there's something wrong with them, or to think that they are alone. So I think it's important to have the correct information for yourself individually, but also so you can help to combat the misinformation that's out there from other people. The first myth we're going to talk about is that mental health issues are rare. It's actually so prevalent that you probably know someone or have someone in your family who has a mental health issue, even if you don't know it. A lot of times people are going about their daily lives and doing their thing, and they're dealing with stuff, but no one really knows because people don't really talk about it. And it's not like it's anybody's business, but a lot of people are kind of suffering in silence and kind of carrying a lot of the burden on their own, and they're not really talking about it, and sometimes not really getting the help that they need. So I think it's important to understand that it's very common to have some type of mental health issue. Let's see, I did some research. You know, I like my research. And the World Health Organization estimates that around 1 in 8 people, that translates to 970 million people worldwide, live with some type of mental disorder. That's a lot. 1 in 8. This includes disorders like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and dementia, which can cause a lot of issues that looks like a lot of other mental health issues. Also, you know, COVID-19 happened, and so we saw an increase in mental health disorders due to, you know, isolation. A lot of people lost people, you know, a lot of people died during the pandemic, and so that kind of affected all of us. Also, uncertainty about the future, not really knowing what's really going to happen with this whole thing, and, you know, not to mention the economic issues that came out of that. A lot of people lost their jobs. There was just a lot of financial insecurity during that time that has persisted over to now. And so there's a lot of people that are still dealing with, you know, stress, depression, anxiety, and all of those things surrounding the pandemic in itself. For youth mental health concerns are very prevalent with young people. The research shows that suicide is the second most common cause of death for people ages 15 to 29 years old. That's globally. So that's the research from the World Health Organization. They do a lot of research on mental health and health in general. So, I mean, I think they're probably a reputable source when it comes to these kind of numbers. But the point of that is that mental health issues is common. The second myth we're going to talk about today is that mental health issues are a sign of weakness. It's actually not. Mental illness is just something that you deal with. It doesn't really define who you are as a person. It doesn't really speak to a person's fortitude or strength in terms of, you know, who they are as a person. So it's not a sign of weakness. It's not necessarily a sign that you're broken. It's an illness, just like diabetes and high blood pressure are illnesses. And so it's just something that you have to deal with and cope with and learn how to manage. Myth number 3 is that therapy is only for serious mental illness. While therapy is helpful for people who have serious issues, a high level of dysfunction in their lives, anybody could really benefit from therapy. Therapy is intended to help people deal with things that they haven't been able to figure out how to deal with on their own. It's really good for gaining a new insight or new perspective. I don't necessarily think everyone needs therapy, but could everyone benefit from therapy? Sure. I don't think it could be harmful to get a new insight or new perspective about whatever is going on in your life. But the point of therapy is change. Something is not working the way you want it to go, and you need help figuring out how to get it moving in the right direction. So that's where therapy comes in. Honestly, anybody could benefit from getting more insight. Myth number 4 is that young people just go through phases and they don't really have real mental health issues. You can have mental health issues regardless of your age. And while there's a general age of onset mindset for some of them, it's not set in stone. Really, mental health issues can start at any age. And so young people have real issues also, just like adults do. Stress is really a major factor in mental illness onset and persistence. So what causes it to start in the first place, and then what keeps it going? Stress has a lot to do with it. And we've all been kids before. Kids go through stressful situations just like adults do. We may perceive it in a different way or have a different understanding about what's actually happening depending on our age and our experiences, but we go through stressful things. And so those things can accumulate and can cause problems. Also, the other factors that cause mental health issues, some of them start at birth. Genetics plays a role as well. And you're born with genetics. And so obviously those problems can come out at a younger age. So I don't think it's a good idea to dismiss young people when they are expressing that they're having some issues or having some difficulties, and they express it differently sometimes. Maybe they're not verbalizing it with words, but they may be showing it through their actions. So I think it's important, if a young person is appearing to have some difficulties, struggling with something, acting out and things like that, everything we do is for a reason. So I think it's worth it to take a look at that and see if we can figure out what's really going on. And if you can't figure it out, there are tons of professionals that can help. Myth number 5 is that medication is the only solution for mental health problems. While medication has its part, there's another side to what's causing and keeping mental health issues going. A lot of things can be helped without medication. So medication's purpose is to balance the chemicals in our body if they are going haywire. Sometimes the chemicals in our body are supposed to be doing certain things, but they're not operating the way they're supposed to. So it may be too much of something over here or not enough of something over there, and then that's throwing the system off, so stuff is not functioning the way it needs to. And so medication is there kind of like a manager. They come in and make sure everybody is working in the area that they're supposed to and doing the right amount of work. I mean, we still have other things that can help. So there are things that you can do on your own. There's things that therapy can help with. So medication is not the end all be all, and medication is not for everyone. That's why I think it's important to have a good team that you can work collaboratively with and work together to find the best solution. The 6th myth is that you can't recover from mental health issues. I mean, if that was true, then I would be wasting my time as a licensed therapist. Obviously, we are in this profession because we understand that there are things you can do to help and to recover. Now, recovery looks different for everyone. You kind of have to define what it looks like for you based on your own individual circumstances. So it's not like a cookie cutter type of situation. You need to figure out and define it for yourself. For some people, there is a end goal in mind to be able to determine if they have recovered or not. So maybe it is that when I reach recovery, I'll be able to return to work. For some people, recovery looks like I was able to get up this morning and took a shower and cleaned up the house. That's what recovery looks like for me. That's how I know when I'm having a good day. And so for some of us, it is a process, a journey to get to a certain level of functioning. And for others, it's an everyday kind of thing. Like, am I in recovery today? And am I doing well today? Understanding that tomorrow might be a no, and that's okay. So the moral of the story is we need to educate ourselves about mental health, what it is, what it looks like, what it's not, and we need to stop all the misinformation. Misinformation causes stigma. Stigma causes people to not get the help that they need or to be discriminated against. Like, it can cause a lot of problems. And so we need to have the right understanding about what's going on and to approach people who are having issues with compassion instead of judgment. I think that is one of the things that makes people feel like they can't speak up about what they're experiencing because they're so worried that someone's going to judge them or think negatively of them. Be mindful. We're dealing with humans. No one is perfect, including including you, and we all need support and encouragement. If you're having issues, you need to speak up and talk to somebody about it. And usually a professional will be able to guide you on what you need to do. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've had experience with stigma. Go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And again, share this video with anyone that you think might benefit. As always, fear nothing, assume nothing, take nothing for granted. All right, y'all, go be great.